Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone and welcome to the final session of OA Week 2021. We will be starting shortly, just waiting for more people to join. Hello everyone and welcome to the final session of OA Week 2021. This is the REMARCO session on regional observatory, taking up the challenge of reporting marine acidity in Latin America and the Caribbean. My name is Kerry Dobson and I am a Knaus Marine Policy Fellow with NOAA's Ocean Acidification Program. And just to let you know that this session is being recorded. OA Week is presented by 4 sponsoring organizations. First, GOA-ON, the Global Ocean Acidification Observing Network. Second, NOAA, the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And third, the IAEA, OAICC, the International Atomic Energy Agency, Ocean Acidification International Coordination Center. And last but not least, the IOC UNESCO, the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. For those of you who are new to GOA-ON, it is a collaborative international network designed to address 3 high-level goals. The first goal is to improve our understanding of global ocean acidification conditions. The second goal is to improve our understanding of ecosystem response to ocean acidification. And the third goal is to acquire and exchange data and knowledge necessary to optimize modeling for OA and its impacts. GOA-ON was established in 2012 with just a handful of members. Since then, GOA-ON has grown immensely. It now has over 900 members from 105 countries. You can join GOA-ON today by visiting goaon.org. That's GOA-ON.org. GOA-ON also consists of 8 regional hubs which span across continents and oceanographic regions. And we have heard from each of these hubs throughout OA Week. GOA-ON is an active organization that offers numerous resources to its members. GOA-ON informs policy at the international level and is involved with initiatives such as the Commonwealth Blue Charter and the Community of Ocean Action on Ocean Acidification. GOA-ON supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 14, known as Life Below Water. Specifically, GOA-ON helped develop the methodology for SDG Indicator 14.3.1, providing guidance on how to measure ocean acidity and how to report the collected information. The data collected informs local and regional governments and UN climate programs. GOA-ON also hosts a data portal which provides access and visualization to OA data and data synthesis products that are collected from around the world and from a wide range of sources, including moorings, research cruises, and fixed time series stations. We welcome all scientists to submit their OA observations to the portal. It's quick, easy, and allows greater visibility of your work. Additionally, GOA-ON offers members scientific mentorship, scholarship, and hands-on training through the peer-to-peer program. If you are interested in joining this program as a mentor or mentee, visit the peer-to-peer webpage and enter your information into the application form. GOA-ON's newest resource is a webinar series, which was established following last year's OA Week. We welcome your input on what topics you would like to hear about in future GOA-ON webinars. If you have any ideas or if you would like to contribute to the webinar series as a presenter, then please send an email to secretariat@goaon.org. That's secretariat@goa-on.org. But over the next 10 years, GOA-ON intends to go even further. GOA-ON has become involved with the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, which will run from 2021 to 2030. This Ocean Decade will provide a common framework to ensure that ocean science can fully support countries to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. GOA-ON is proud to announce that our proposal, known as OARS, Ocean Acidification Research for Sustainability, was recently endorsed as an official UN Ocean Decade Program. The OARS program will build on GOA-ON's existing work to further develop OA science by enhancing capacity efforts, increasing observations of ocean chemistry changes, identifying the impacts on marine ecosystems, and providing decision makers with the necessary information for mitigating and adapting to OA. GOA-ON would also like to bring attention to the 5th International Symposium on the Ocean in a High CO2 World. This conference was initially scheduled for September 2020, and like many events over the last 18 months, this event was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The symposium is now scheduled for 2022, and it will bring together researchers, decision makers, and other stakeholders to share cutting-edge ocean acidification science. We hope everyone listening today will visit the symposium website to learn more, and we invite everyone to stick around at the end of the webinar to see a promotional video from the symposium steering committee. At this point, I would like to introduce our speakers for today's community discussion session, the list of which you can see here, and I will not try and say everyone's names because my Spanish is not great. And I also apologize that I was not able to give that introduction in Spanish. So at this point, I will pass over to Dr. Joan. Let me make you the presenter, and I will let you go ahead with your presentation. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to this session. The REMARCO Regional Observatory takes up the challenge, reporting marine acidity in Latin America and the Caribbean. This will be a number of presentations of my colleagues regarding a number of the aspects of the network, but basically to answer the questions how, who, how, and what are we doing. We will have presenters from Mexico, Peru, Argentina, Costa Rica, Colombia, Cuba, and Ecuador. And at the end of the session, we will take and answer questions both in English and Spanish. So please don't be shy and prepare your questions that you can send through the chat. So let's start with the first presentation, which is a brief presentation on REMARCO by myself, Joan Albert Sánchez Cabeza, from Instituto de Ciencias del Mar y Limnología of UNAM, Mexico. What is REMARCO? REMARCO is a science and communication cooperation network composed of 18 countries in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean. And basically we address some challenges and vulnerabilities Okay. Can someone confirm that you can hear me?
We can hear you, thank you.
We can now, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone just muted me, thank you. I was saying that on the marine challenges and vulnerabilities of the marine coastal ecosystems, and the main issues we are dealing with now are marine chemical pollution, harmful algal blooms, microplastics, and ocean acidification, which is the subject today. There is a long history of REMARCO, but I just want to summarize that we have been receiving support from the IAEA, and the goal of this network is improve regional capacities to implement science-based strategies and policies for the conservation and sustainable management of coastal zones and marine resources in Latin America and the Caribbean. And our strategy is going to be explained better later, is that we collect data. Those data are passed on to national focal points of the SDG indicator marine acidity, and they are in charge of uploading them into the IOC UNESCO website. And which are the main results that we have achieved or aim to achieve? One is to establish monitoring programs of marine acidity in the whole region. Of course, acquire state-of-the-art acidification equipment or adapted to our needs, produce harmonized protocols, promote technical collaboration, and the main goal is to report to the marine acidity indicator. All this is backed up by a strong communication strategy to present our results. And I'm going to pass over to a joint presentation by Dr. Michelle Graco from Instituto del Mar del Perú and Bettina Lomovarsky of the Instituto de Investigaciones Marinas y Costeras of CONICET in Argentina. So please go ahead, Michelle. Michelle.
Well, thank you. Well, one of the challenges of the REMARCO is to establish this regional observatory for the measurements of ocean acidity for the Caribbean and the Latin American areas. In this context, 18 countries involved in REMARCO and supported by the IAEA regional project committed through their national platform and facilities to establish permanent coastal stations to measure at minimum 2 variables of the carbonate system with established a standard of quality. This is in order to be able to carry out the report of the HDG 14 and specifically the 14.3.1 indicator. Here, for example, in the map, you can see different colors because there are different implementation of the measurement of the carbonate system. And particularly in the Caribbean, there are more than 3 and 4 variables related with successful previous regional projects in the area. Next, please. Next. Okay. In this sense, we can see here some examples. And for example, there are some countries like Colombia, Mexico, and Cuba that are already reported the indicator of the SDG 14.3.1 to the IOC UNESCO. And then you can see other countries which are in the implementation of this permanent coastal marine station. And in particular, I can talk very draft about Peru, because we are already have projects from IMARPE that support time series as like Callao with more than 20 years of data. And we have also the expertise of the chemistry laboratory in order to implement this measurement here to report the SDG indicator. The idea is then replicate this in the north in collaboration with the University Pedro Luis Gallo and in the south, and have a representative station from the area. And this is the idea for all the REMARCO countries in the Latin America and the Caribbean region. Next, please. But the big question is how we can make sustainable the observation. And this is directly related with the target to report the SDG indicator 14.3.1. The strategy is that REMARCO produce the data, a data with the established standard of quality, and make the coordination with the national focal point to the SDG of each country. The strategy is that we need action at national level with policymakers in order to sustain this coastal station and contribute to the SDG 14 at global and in the portal of EOC and UNESCO. This is important that this is not only monitoring, this is also a baseline of data for each country in order to apply for biological experiments and other ecosystem studies, ecosystemic approach, and also to include in the national reports. Next, please. And okay, what is at this moment, what is the situation of the REMARCO between this coordination between REMARCO and the local focal points. And we are very enthusiastic because we have 9 countries in the region that already now have some level of coordination with the focal points. And this is very important. Every country is different, have a different level of institution and ministry in charge of the report of the SDG. And for this, it's very important that every counterpart make the link with the focal point. And now I will present some of the successful examples in REMARCO, that is the Argentina example. Thank you.
No te oímos, Bettina.
Now, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. I want to show how was your successful history in relation to REMARCO and Argentina decision makers. In 2019, we started to work in the frame of Argentina integration of REMARCO with an agreement to work with the Ministers of Environmental and Sustainable Development to report advance of acidification studies in Argentina. The existence of data in that time, only one permanent station with high quality data to the report, and the incorporation of Argentina into the REMARCO regional observatory with 4 new permanent coastal stations supported the adherence of Argentina to the reports of the indicator made throughout the National Council for the Coordination of Social Policies in 2020. Additionally, REMARCO worked with the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations and the National Council for Scientific and Technical Research, the CONICET. In this context, REMARCO was incorporated into the network of networks of the Pampa Sul initiative. Next. What is Pampa Sul initiative? It's a national initiative with an agreement between several ministries coordinated by the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation to articulate actions to promote different areas of the states in the field of scientific research, technological development, and innovation in the sea. Pampa Sul work under different axes of actions in priority geographic areas and horizontal thematic areas, in which we could add the acidification indicator as an objective, one of objectives of the climate change thematic area. Next. Pampa Sul initiative coordinates efforts to strengthen and expand the capacity to generate information in the South Atlantic Ocean environment. And the strategy was the creation of a network with ongoing networks existing in Argentina, 5 different networks existing today. REMARCO and Pampa Sul will work with synergies and to increase the capacity to study acidifications in Argentina. In one way, REMARCO, with the implementation of acidification studies in monitoring, but also to support biological studies, acidification experiments, ecosystem service, and studies on socio-ecological systems. In the other way, Pampa Sul gives the budget to the installation of 4 oceanographic autonomous stations at the sample sites of REMARCO to strengthen the network and institutional capacity. REMARCO in Argentina will transfer the capacities to other institutions to use the REMARCO manuals and protocols at national level, and Pampa Sul offer the platforms to develop an acidification national plans. Pampa Sul have national programs related to education, like Science Cultural Center with the Museum, the Blue School program for high school to teach about the ocean, and the Technopolis exposition. And in this way, we started to collaborate, to give and to include the topic about the acidification in this national plan. Next, please.
And last.
I will take the question formulated by Michelle And the answer for Argentina is that we are working in an agreement on the long-term sustainability of REMARCO marine coastal stations with the different ministries, Pampa Sul Initiative and CONICET, a level of decision makers and policy makers. And the last question is, okay, what is the scenario today in Argentina? Has changed compared to 2 years ago? And today, ocean acidification is part of the agenda for decision makers. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we know a little bit more of how the network operates. And I'm going to introduce now Doctora Celeste Sánchez Noguera for Centro de Investigación en Ciencias del Mar y Limnología of Universidad de Costa Rica on standardized protocols for carbonate chemistry research in Latin America and the Caribbean. Please, Celeste.
Thank you, John. So please, next. As most of the people on the audience probably knows, the open ocean is very different from the coastal areas. First of all, in terms of the carbonate chemistry, the natural variability presented in these areas, but also on the way how the research is conducted in these areas. For example, in open ocean, most of the research is carried on through these research vessels, while in the coastal areas, we most of the time have to work with smaller boats and have some sort of different limitations. So currently, there are a lot of or several resources available, like guides of best practices for doing research on the open ocean. However, for the coastal areas, this kind of guides are kind of limited, and the only one that is specifically focused on coastal areas is not totally suitable for Latin America. So next, please. This is one of the goals of REMARCO, basically producing some guides or some kind of standardized protocols that are more focused or more suitable for Latin America. Next, please, John. Thank you. So these protocols that we have been working on are also including, of course, like the traditional methodologies, for example, traditional sampling methodologies, but are also including also some new methodologies more focused on the coastal areas. This, for example, includes sampling from the surface, which can be carried out from, let's say, a pier or even from just some of the intermareal areas, but also underwater sampling. And this is very important because, as far as we know, this will be like the first time that underwater sampling for the carbonate chemistry is officially included in one protocol. So on top of this, we are also, of course, developing protocols for different analytical techniques. Next, please. And these techniques include for example, 2 different protocols for pH. All these different protocols are based on the instruments that are available on our laboratories in the region. Also 3 different protocols for measurement of total alkalinity, 2 protocols for the measurement of dissolved inorganic carbon. Something that for us is like really very proud of it is that we're also developing protocols for the estimation of the uncertainty of all these measurements or laboratories analysis. And last but not least, we are also included in our standardized protocols, one that is specifically focused on the management of wastewater with mercury chloride, which is some kind of like issue for us in our laboratories. And it's very important to know that all these protocols are going to be nested on the REMARCO website, and they are going to be available not only for the REMARCO members, but also for the rest of the community. And the preparation of these protocols has been going or has been undertaken during 3 different phases. The first was the preparation carried out by the members from REMARCO that have been more working on this topic. Second of all, then there has been like a review or internal review phase. And finally, it will be going through a review from external reviews from experts also in the region. Next, please. So basically on REMARCO, we are kind of like developing these some sort of tropicalized guides of best practices, which are in Spanish. That's very important. They are focused not only on the limitations of the region, but also on the available resources. And they're also including a lot of alternatives based on the experiences from other labs on the region, which is also very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much for telling us about something very important, which is to produce harmonized protocols for the region and in a language that is understood by everybody or most people in the region. Now we are going to talk about the capacity building progress in ocean acidification by Karen Patricia Ibarra Gutierrez from INDEMAR, Colombia, and Cesar Augusto Bernal, also from INDEMAR, Colombia. So please, Karen.
Thank you so much, Joan. So about the progress in strengthening capacities, we want to highlight 3 points. The first one is related with human and analytical capacities. Please, next. So in this point, REMARCO has standardized procedures to study carbonate chemistry as well as the evaluation of historical trends using nuclear and related techniques. The strengthening of these capacities has made it possible to advance in the report of indicator 1431. Next, please. And expanding on what Dr. Sanchez Noguera said, some of the most relevant procedures are those of collection, analysis of spectrophotometric pH, alkalinity, dissolved inorganic carbon, uncertainty, CO2 system calculations, and the report of the indicator 1431. Boxes in green indicate procedures that are finalized and yellow in progress. Next, please. The second point we want to talk is about the capacity to monitor the CO2 system in the region. Next, please. So in this way, REMARCO has designed a kit to donate of the member countries. Is currently in the delivery process, and the kit contains, in the case of sampling, 5 liters Niskin bottles for collection samples with sealing grease, and a salinity meter, and for the total pH scale, a spectrophotometer with a thermostated cell capable of maintaining the temperature at 25 Celsius degree, pH standards, metacresol, and a set of micropipettes. This is a measurement system to report in weather quality. In the case of total alkalinity, a minor brand automatic alkalinometer with thermostated bath, certified reference materials, a certified acid, and other materials. And this is a measurement system to report in weather quality too. Next, please. Next, please. Thank you. So in addition to this important kit and understanding the demands of the regions, REMARCO designed the regional training course on carbonate chemistry system measurement for the evaluation of the medium acidity indicator, LDG 1431, that will be held virtually between 18 and 29 of October of 2021. This training is through the Ocean Teacher Global Academy platform. Now we have 54 participants registered from the member countries, live and asynchronous sessions, work with the standardized procedures, pre-recorded practices, forums, online activities, and tests is the methodology to realize in this training course. So finally, next please. REMARCO wants to generate capacities in the region to purify the metacresol, requiring the spectrophotometric pH analysis, as well as to produce reference materials and standards. Next. So consider the analytical capacity that a country as Colombia has, and with the support of the IAEA Regional Cooperation Project, RLA 7025, Colombia will be able to purify metacresol from commercial metacresol purpura using a flash isolator 1 chromatography. In the case of reference material, the preparation is under evaluation now, and will be turned towards quality controls and will be traceable to Dixon CRM. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Karen. Excellent. Now we have presented how do we technically address the issues of ocean acidification, which is the equipment that some of us have or will have. And now we would like to hear by Miguel Gomez Batista from CEAC Cuba, the results of REMARCO laboratories in an ocean acidification proficiency test. That's it. How are we doing well? How do we do? So please, Miguel, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Joan, for presenting to me. Could you please go to the next one?
Yes, there is a little detail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the goals of REMARCO is that countries belong to the network report to SDG 1431 quality data as official national report. To ensure the required quality, a quality control activity have to be implemented to reach accurate and reproducible results. Today, I will show you the results of REMARCO in external quality assessment. Next, please. There are several recognized suppliers of proficiency tests. Quasi-Meme is one of them. One of the program is dealing with ocean acidification and include analysis of dissolved inorganic carbon and total alkalinity in estuarine and seawater. 3 samples were analyzed by each participant laboratory. 2 of them with seawater salinity around 35, and 1 of them with seawater salinity around 8. Please. Next. Okay. Three institutions were participants in the program. El Instituto de Investigaciones Marinas y Costeras from Colombia, la Universidad Autónoma de México y el Centro de Estudios Ambientales de Cienfuegos. Next, please. To evaluate analysis performance, Zeta score index was used. You can see the evaluation scale. These dissolved inorganic carbon analysis were made by laboratories from Colombia and Mexico. A total of 5 determinations were reported. All determinations were classified as satisfactory. Some of them will report a value of Zeta score equal 0 or close, meaning that the assigned value was the one reported. In conclusion, for DIC, 100% of reported values were classified as satisfactory. Next, please. Next. Well, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
There are.
I think we've lost Professor Sanchez Cabeza.
Oh, okay.
Give it a second. Hopefully he'll pop back on.
It's presented. Okay. For total alkalinity analysis, the laboratory participants were Colombia, Mexico, and Cuba. A total of 8 determinations were reported. 7 determinations were classified as satisfactory, and the largest deviations were recorded in low salinity water. Like in DIC, in total alkalinity, reported value of Zeta score were equal 0 or close to. In conclusion, for total alkalinity analysis, 87% of reported values were classified as satisfactory performance. Currently, we are waiting for the second round. The samples will be sent in next October. Thanks very much for your attention. That's all. We can hear you.
Try again.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for this very good news. So we know that the laboratories who are already reporting are having a good performance, but of course there are some limitations and needs. And now I want to invite Dr. Francisco Navarrete Miguel of EULAM in Ecuador to talk about that. Please, Francisco, go ahead. Francisco.
Okay, now you can hear me?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to point the attention in some limitation and needs we have as region. The first, of course, is the lack of equipment and the cost of funding. That is transversal. And specifically, we need to improve in the sampling and analytical capabilities. The program are really going on, is working, and it's going better and better. We have to overcome this problem of the pandemic COVID-19 that has some problems in the training, and but now we are retaking this. We have to implement the isotopic techniques in the study of carbonate chemistry and the transfer of advanced technology to all member countries. Some countries now we have, but we need to expand this. The next, please. Okay, inside this problem as regions, we have to manage another things like the contact between scientists and institutions, or the country, the inside countries, the contact between institutions. We have to manage the contact between scientists and society. That is very important, and Laura will talk about this point at the end. And the contact between scientists and policymakers or political managers. This will allow us that the information that is generated by the scientific advances are used to make decisions. That is very important point. And the main problem, I think, is although the governments and are committed to the SDGs and most the report, there are not an articulate funding program in the region that allow them monitoring for long term, despite some countries have, but we need to work in this. Despite these problems, we're growing now. Now we are more countries, more scientists working in each country to raise the awareness of this problematic and develop research in the field. So I'm sure that our key strength is the human talent. Next, please. Okay, and we think further the monitoring, what comes for the future. In some point, we need to take this information to understand how the ecosystem and how the species that lives in this ecosystem will react to the change of the carbonate chemistry. So it is necessary to improve the capacity to develop in-lab and in-field experiments, especially with key species for our ecosystems and for our fisheries and aquaculture. And the last goal of all this work is to reach the society. The local communities has to be first beneficiaries of all the science that is produced. It's necessary to improve their living condition and protect the resources, always taking in account the food sovereignty. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Of course, there is a long way to run. We are doing well, but we can do better. And last but not least, a presentation by Laura Grenes Alfaro, Communication Team Coordinator from SICA, University of Costa Rica, who is going to talk to us about a very important component of our project, which is communication. Please, Laura.
Thank you, Joan. Next, please. Why communication is important at this network and is a key element? Well, for REMARCO, it is essential that the result of our researches in projects are communicated to decision makers, authorities, and the general public looking for impact of public policies in the countries of the region and the daily life of its inhabitants. For us, it's very important that the language will be easy to understand, very simple, and so we, the communicators, have the job to translate along with the scientists all of that, so the public understand the information, the data, the results, and the meanings. For this, we have to think about attractive and interesting material for the different publics and highlight that those topics are related to all of our countries as they are common problem to us. Next, please. Okay, in communication, our goals are to disseminate to the general public the contribution of nuclear and conventional techniques used by REMARCO in the analysis of marine coastal stressors, also to disseminate information about REMARCO, the actions and research results in regional environmental forums, and of course, to provide scientific information to national and regional decision makers, to encourage the development of public policy related to the sustainability of coastal marine environments. Next. For ocean acidification, we have a communication plan in the task to report to the SDG 14. Next. For that, we have several communication products, like the REMARCO flyer, thematic brochures about the 4 marine and coastal stressors. And here you can see the one related to ocean acidification about the problem, the information for action, and about us. Next. As an example of SDG report, in Costa Rica, we already have some virtual meetings with decision makers from different institutions like embassies that work the topic of environment and oceans in international committees, the Ministry of Economic Planning, the National Institute of Statistics, to talk about the network and, of course, to coordinate this, to send the available information. Next. We also communicate through our website with different news and information, that is remarco.org, and our Facebook page, remarco.lac. Next. In those, you can see that we publish different news from the different countries, infographics, pictures, videos, scientific articles, and general information about ocean acidification. As you can see here, with several news about the development of the activities in Peru, Argentina, Guatemala, and among others. Next, please. In our Facebook page, you can see as well news, invitations to different events, also important information about ocean acidification, so the general public can understand what that means, the consequences for the human life and biodiversity, and what we do about that. And also, we gave a special attention to the ocean acidification day past January 8th, as you can see here. Next. Also, we have been in different international events, given the context of COVID, of course, those have been virtual conferences of webinars. For example, last November, we had a webinar on Facebook Live at REMARCO that you can still see on our Facebook page with Cesar Bernard talking about ocean acidification. Also, we participated in Monaco Ocean Week and other international forums, conferences and webinars last year and the current one, and hope to do so in the future. We will continue to do a lot of important activities about ocean acidification in the future, as well as to report for the SDG 14s in the countries of REMARCO. We welcome you to stay tuned through our website and Facebook page, of course. Next. Thank you all for your attention. John.
Thank you very much, Laura. I think this is a nice final. I would like to finish this session of presentations with some take-home messages. Is that REMARCO is actually monitoring the carbonate system in several coastal areas in Latin America and the Caribbean, and we expect to do that in the 18 countries participating in REMARCO. REMARCO is communicating high-quality information on ocean acidification to decision makers. REMARCO can actually collaborate and propose new regional research efforts. And REMARCO could become a regional partner on ocean acidification studies with any interested organization. Okay, now I'm going to ask Kerry to pass on our video. Before you do that, let me see, how can I stop sharing the screen? Yes, there. I would like to tell everybody that we are now open for, now, we are now open, I cannot see anything. We are now open to questions. So we are going to pass a short video on REMARCO. Terry will do that for me. And you will have some time to think about questions you want to pose to us. Please, Carrie.
Sure, give me 2 seconds. Here we go.
So everybody can still make questions.
Yes, they can post the questions in the question box. I have chatted the ones that we have to you so far, and I will play the presentation now. The video, sorry.
We cannot hear. Now.
At the limit of resilience, the energy and toxic substances induced by human beings threaten the health of all our oceans. More than 8 million metric tons of plastic end up in the oceans every year, breaking down into tiny pieces. Microplastic pollution is dramatically increasing. Ocean acidification is caused by the absorption of 1/3 of the carbon dioxide produced by the global human population. These changes affect biodiversity. The environmental, public health, and socioeconomic impacts of red tides are also becoming more severe in the world. Marine ecosystems are fundamental for the environmental, social, and economic sustainability of our entire planet. Applying the knowledge generated by scientists can and should contribute to maintain this primary source of life. Countries in Latin America and the Caribbean are addressing these common challenges informed through REMARCO, the Marine Coastal Research Network, to enable the decision-making process. This major challenge is being addressed by this network of willpower, producing and disseminating knowledge for the sustainability of the oceans and human well-being.
Okay, I think we can stop there. Okay. I'm asking all the participants, all the presenters to open their web cameras because we are going to start the session, this question session, please. And we already have some questions. I don't know if we can have the display of our faces on the screen, Carrie?
Yes, I believe everyone can see your faces now.
I don't know you, but I cannot see anything. Okay, let me start with some of the questions. I cannot see our faces on the screen. Can anyone see that?
I can see you all.
Yes, I can see you all.
Oh, something is wrong then with my display. I don't know why.
Buenos días, estamos conectados.
Okay. Okay, so let me start with some of the questions. The first question from Valentina Amaral Acosta. Dice, soy de Uruguay, de la Universidad de la República, y quería saber cómo hacer para contribuir y participar en REMARCO. And later on hace otra pregunta, que es dónde nos podemos registrar en el training course que se dictará en octubre. ¿Quién responde? Creo que es... no recuerdo quién. ¿Quién responde? ¿César? Hola, hola.
Un saludo para todos. En cuanto a la pregunta del entrenamiento que se va a realizar en el mes de octubre, desde cada uno de los países postularon 3 técnicos de laboratorio y 2 de las personas encargadas del reporte del indicador por país. Si no estás dentro de este listado, lo que te puedo comentar es que primero, pues, contactar a la contraparte nacional y segundo, tener en cuenta que esta plataforma de OTGA nos permite que el curso sea replicado año tras año. Adicional, toda la información que vamos a usar en este curso quedará en la plataforma de REMARCO. Gracias.
Y también querría decir que así funciona la red, es decir, tenemos contrapartes nacionales a las cuales uno debe contactar a través de la página web de REMARCO y iniciar los contactos para participar en la red. A ver, hay una pregunta de Gerardo Ruiz Rodríguez, desde El Salvador, Centroamérica. Una pregunta para Bettina o Michelle. ¿Cuál será el rol de REMARCO para garantizar la sostenibilidad del observatorio a largo plazo en las estaciones actuales y futuras? Esa es una muy buena pregunta. ¿Quién se atreve para ella? ¿Bettina, Michelle?
Michelle.
¿Está hablando alguien? Hola, hola. No sé si alguien está hablando porque no acabo de ver nada. Pues esa, bueno, si no responde... Ah, ok, adelante, Bettina. Creo que se cortó la comunicación con Bettina. ¿O soy yo el que tiene problemas de...
Perdón, Joan, recién me activan el sonido. Muy bien, bueno, gracias a Salvador por esa pregunta. ¿Me escuchan bien?
Muy bien.
Perfecto. Bueno, entonces, retomando un poco lo que explicamos de cómo alcanzar la sostenibilidad de las estaciones, es muy importante la estrategia. Si ustedes ven, no solamente estamos estableciendo estaciones de monitoreo para el indicador, sino que estamos yendo a buscar a los tomadores de decisión. Entonces, cuando uno involucra la ciencia junto con el Estado, eso permite que el país ya lo tome como una prioridad y pueda sustentarse en el tiempo. Nosotros, por ejemplo, yo trabajo en particular en IMARPE, en un instituto del Estado, y básicamente tenemos estaciones que las vamos manteniendo en el tiempo. ¿Por qué? Porque ya el país reconoce lo importante que es. Entonces nosotros a través de REMARCO lo que buscamos es eso, tomar conciencia con los tomadores de decisiones, por qué es importante esto, y juntos llevar a la sostenibilidad de una estación de monitoreo como es para la contribución de la Agenda 2030 y los compromisos internacionales que tiene un país. Y quizás una cosita más que creo que podríamos agregar, es que REMARCO es una red viva con muchos países, y la idea es apoyarnos. Entonces la innovación tecnológica es algo que también es muy importante para nuestra sostenibilidad en el tiempo, porque poder disponer de estándares en la región, poder disponer de países que ayuden a mantener, a estandarizar a la calidad de los datos, es algo también que nos beneficia a todos y nos proyecta a esta sostenibilidad.
Muchísimas gracias. ¿Alguien quiere añadir algo? Aunque tenemos bastantes preguntas, yo creo que si no hay alguna urgente, vamos. Hay dos personas que hacen la misma pregunta, que es técnica, se la voy a pasar a César, que es que, bueno, primero Marisol Giuseppone dice, excelentes presentaciones, ¿por qué la salinidad dio mayor dispersión? Y Ricardo Adrián Martínez Galarza, que asociaron las variaciones de salinidad a bajas salinidades. César, ¿qué nos dices?
Hola. Bien, esto nos indica la gran importancia que se tiene a nivel de laboratorio en la validación de las metodologías analíticas que nosotros trabajamos. A nivel costero, no podemos quedarnos con una validación solo para una salinidad 35 o una salinidad de mar. Esto nos lleva a que nuestros laboratorios de los países participantes, o bueno, de toda la región, lleven un control de calidad a diferentes salinidades. Lamentablemente, como lo hemos estado viendo en el transcurso de la semana, los materiales de referencia no tienen esta habilidad de diferentes salinidades, lo cual nos da un trabajo adicional que es poder producir materiales de referencia que nos sirva para el control de calidad analítico frente a estas situaciones que se presentan en nuestras zonas costeras. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, César. Hay dos veces, perdón, ¿alguien quería decir algo? No. Hay dos preguntas sobre el mismo tema, una hecha en castellano y otra en inglés. Les voy a leer. Marisol Giuseppone. También quisiera saber si existe algún plan dentro de la red para articular datos de monitoreo químico al estudio de monitoreo biológico. Y Kathleen Lauder, also wonderful presentation, so thrilled to learn all these great REMARCO activities, especially protocols, etc. Are there plans to create similar resources for biological monitoring and experiments? ¿Quién se atreve con esa? Voy a empezar yo. I will start. Let me shift to English now. We are not doing it now. We know it's an important issue. We are not doing it as a network. Doesn't mean that different countries are actually already performing that kind of experiments. But as Cesar said just before, this is a live network, which is now focusing on 4 subjects and the specificities of these subjects. But that doesn't mean that we could address in the future new challenges like biological experiments. No sé si alguno, I don't know if anyone else would like to add to my answer. I see not. I'm checking for new questions. A question from José Andrés Martínez, de México, para todos los panelistas, de los parámetros fundamentales para estudiar el sistema de carbonatos, pH, DIC, alcalinidad, CO2, ¿en cuál consideran más importante invertir? Wow, socorro. Otra pregunta porque cada uno tendremos nuestra propia opinión. Pregunta, le voy a pasar la pelota a César.
Vale. Es importante que en la química de carbonatos, para poder determinar nuestras mediciones del sistema de carbonatos, requerimos dos variables. ¿Sí? ¿De esto de qué va a depender? Va a depender, en primer lugar, también de un valor económico, debido a que mediciones de un parámetro como carbono inorgánico disuelto, pues tiene un valor económico primordial. Y también va a depender de la cantidad de muestras que nosotros vayamos a trabajar en el monitoreo. Las variables no es una variable más importante que la otra, solo que tenemos que mirar con las condiciones que tenemos en nuestros países, en nuestros laboratorios, cuál es la variable que mejor se nos puede facilitar para trabajar. La de carbono inorgánico disuelto y alcalinidad total son dos variables que nos gustan desde el punto de vista analítico, porque la preservación de estas nos permiten hacer mediciones incluso hasta un año después de haber sido colectadas las muestras, previa preservación con cloruro de mercurio y a una temperatura adecuada y empleando las botellas requeridas. Entonces, doy la palabra al compañero John Albert para que dé su punto de vista, o a la compañera Celeste. Muchas gracias.
Celeste.
Gracias, César. A mí me gustaría sí agregar que precisamente como César indica, eso va a depender mucho, ¿verdad?, de las capacidades que haya instalada en cada laboratorio. Pero aquí yo creo que es importante también recalcar que una de las fortalezas de la red es precisamente darnos este acompañamiento. ¿Qué significa eso? Que si eventualmente un país o un laboratorio no puede todavía tener acceso al equipamiento, porque es un equipamiento costoso, ¿verdad?, pues entonces se puede coordinar con otros laboratorios, ya sea del mismo país o incluso laboratorios de otros países, para que entonces se comiencen a recolectar las muestras de agua y eventualmente las mediciones se puedan hacer en otro laboratorio, que las muestras se puedan enviar por correo, ¿verdad? Y se midan en otro lugar. Entonces yo creo que eso también se convierte en una fortaleza realmente. La idea es ver cómo nos podemos apoyar, no solamente mediante el acompañamiento, ¿verdad?, en la implementación de los protocolos de análisis, sino también en qué momento nosotros podemos tratar de que los otros laboratorios, igual, aunque no tengan el equipo en sus instalaciones, puedan llevar a cabo también estas mediciones.
Okay, thank you very much to all of you. I think we are just a little bit over time, and I think there are just a few more questions we might ask by email, and you can actually see.
Solo para decir para decir algo con respecto a la página web y nuestro contacto, por aquello que existan más preguntas o incluso haya dudas con respecto a Remarco, siempre es importante que visiten nuestra página web, remarco.org. Pueden ahí ver el comité ejecutivo y ahí están nuestros contactos de las 5 personas que conformamos el comité ejecutivo de Remarco, y pueden contactarnos por cualquier consulta o duda que tengan, pues también con respecto a este tema u otros, allí estaremos también en contacto. Pueden entonces consultar la página web y también nuestros correos electrónicos también. Gracias.
Perdón, gracias a ti. Thank you very much to all of you. So, Kerry, we close the session now and we hand over to you.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for joining us. This is an awesome event to finish off OA week with. Just to say, if anyone has any additional questions, I believe you were just saying, my Spanish isn't great, but I believe you were just saying they should go to your website and contact you. But also,
exactly. That's what I was saying.
Acidification Information Exchange. We will also drop the link for that in the chat. We are continuing a lot of conversations that go over time on there as well. So please feel free to go on to the Ocean Acidification Information Exchange and drop your questions in there. And if you are not currently a member, just join up. It's kind of like Facebook, but for ocean acidification scientists. So please join us on there too. And just to play everyone out, I will play a short video from the High CO2 Symposium, which is a great video. Almost as great or just as great as the REMARCO video. You guys are great at making videos. So thank you all so much again.
Thank you very much. We have a good We have a good communication plan.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you in Lima next year, 2022.
See you.
A pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Los océanos son vida y cumplen un rol clave en nuestro planeta. Sin embargo, somos responsables de los cambios que experimentan. Uno de ellos es la acidificación de los océanos, resultado del incremento en la producción de dióxido de carbono por la actividad humana y que afecta a la vida. Afrontar este problema requiere de la ciencia, la sociedad y el compromiso de todos.
Soy Michelle Graco, del Instituto del Mar del Perú, y chair del quinto Simposio Internacional de un Océano en Alto CO2. En el año 2022, Perú, y en particular Lima, se espera para participar de uno de los eventos más importantes de la acidificación de los océanos.
Este simposio internacional que se llevará a cabo en la ciudad de Lima, Perú, en septiembre de 2022, tuvo como iniciativa en su organización a la Universidad Nacional Pedro Ruiz Gallo y a su pionero en esta temática, doctor Wilmer Carvajal Villalba, que junto a investigadores peruanos, como es el caso del Instituto del Mar del Perú, creyeron conveniente traer este simposio a América Latina.
Durante el quinto simposio que se desarrollará en la ciudad de Lima, se reunirán destacados científicos, junto con representantes gubernamentales y empresarios piscicultores y agricultores. Asimismo, se encontrarán estudiantes de todo el mundo, quienes presentarán y evaluarán los resultados de sus investigaciones referente al tema de acidificación en los océanos.
La participación de jóvenes en este simposio es de suma importancia. Es por eso que hemos organizado diferentes eventos paralelos donde los jóvenes científicos y estudiantes podrán ser capacitados, discutir y establecer acciones que nos permitan avanzar en esta importante temática para todos.
Finalmente, hacemos extensiva la invitación a los investigadores, profesores, estudiantes a presentar sus trabajos de investigación y a participar de todas las actividades que se han programado para este evento. Igualmente, alentarlos a venir a nuestro país y disfrutar de todos los atractivos turísticos con la riqueza arqueológica y de biodiversidad que tenemos en nuestro país y sobre todo nuestra rica gastronomía.
La vida en este planeta depende de la salud de los océanos. Frenar su deterioro es uno de los desafíos más importantes de nuestra era y requiere de acciones concretas. La acidificación de los océanos es un problema de todos.
Septiembre 2022, Lima te espera. Podemos hacer la diferencia.